but if a doctor tells you that you're gonna be feeling okay 2 days after sinus surgery, they have never had sinus surgery. Hello there, my beautiful, lovely, delightful internet friends. Welcome back to my channel. I am making this video for two reasons. Number one, if you are someone who is facing any type of sinus surgery, I wanted to give you a first-hand and personal account of what it's actually been like, because the expectation that was set for me versus the reality of what it has been like differ a little bit. And secondly, I wanted to give an update to you, my lovely audience, my lovely watchers who have been so kind to ask how I am doing. Now, it doesn't look like it because I think my doc did a pretty good job at all of this, but I did have extensive, I guess, sinus surgery 10 days ago. They went in there and fixed a double deviated septum. Deviating once was not enough. I needed to do it twice because I'm extra like that. An impressively large bone spur blocking one of my nasal passages, a cyst that was lodged in one of my nasal cavities, and also to generally reduce a lot of the issues in there like swelling and turbinate reduction and open things up so the sinusitis that I've been dealing with for months could properly go away. Now, I am not new to surgical life. I've had my leg cut off twice, a wide variety of ankle surgeries, wrist surgery, knee surgery. Like, I don't want to brag, but I feel like I am semi-pro at the surgery game. So knowing that I was gonna have this, like, I knew I needed to do prepare. I asked, for like an estimate of recovery times, and I was told approximately 2 days, to take off until I could go back to work, and 2 weeks of maybe some mild discomfort, and then at 4 weeks, all the swelling in there would really have gone down enough that we would know if it worked, know some of the benefits. It's like, cool, okay, that sounds relatively easy. That's like the simplest surgery I've ever had. No. Wrong. So there are two possibilities here. Either I have been a big baby about the surgery, which is possible, or those healing times that I was given were not exactly accurate. So the surgery itself is actually fantastically simple and fast. I didn't even have to get in a full up hospital gown. They let me actually go in my normal clothes because they're just working here up. It took about a half an hour from my understanding, which is insane how quickly they can do stuff. And then after coming out of surgery, waking up from the anesthesia, all that good stuff, I was able to go home. Same day, very simple. And I was fully prepared to focus on just resting those 2 days and then get back at it. But when day 3 came around, I was still having serious pain. I had a really hard time sleeping. I couldn't really do much throughout the day aside from lay around. I needed to be on pain medication. And by day 3, my doctor called me to check on me. And I was like, I am still having a lot of pain. Did something, is this normal? And his response was like, oh yeah, absolutely. You're gonna be feeling like crap for at least a few more days, which was confusing. So maybe something got lost in translation, I'm not sure. But if a doctor tells you that you're gonna be feeling okay 2 days after sinus surgery, they have never had sinus surgery. A week and a half out, I'm still having difficulty sleeping at night because I get a lot of pain, especially on one side. My nose will randomly start bleeding, just bleeding out of nowhere, especially if I'm bending over something. My keyboard took the full brunt of that, as did one of my couch cushions, but I've learned to control my head positioning for the time being as I continue to heal. If you are ever gonna have sinus surgery, one tip that I would pass on to you is to have a humidifier close by, because you become a lot of a mouth breather because breathing through your nose is either not possible or very uncomfortable. So having a humidifier near me as I'm trying to, sleep at night and breathe through my mouth was really helpful, and not having a sore throat from dryness waking up. So kind of taking a sidestep, one thing that I did identify as I was feeling like I was taking a long time to heal, a long time to get better, because it was taking days past the initial projection, I started feeling a lot of guilt for having pain, a lot of guilt for feeling so crummy, because an authority figure had told me I should feel better by a certain day number. And I realized that once I was past that day number, I started to feel like I was somehow failing or weak for still having pain. And this is something I felt with every surgery I've ever had. I really pay close attention to those timelines that are given. And if my body doesn't happen to line up with that given timeline, I feel like I've done something wrong. And I had a lot of time over the past week and a half to reflect on that and realize how very unhelpful at a minimum that type of thinking is. If my body's hurting, my body's hurting. I do generally kind of have a hard time bouncing back after surgeries. I think anesthesia kind of messes with my system a bit, like it does for many of us. And I felt really guilty and like I was somehow cheating by continuing to listen to my body's signals and take time to rest, when in reality, that's exactly what I should be doing. There's no shame, actually no shame, in taking a break and stepping back from things and taking things easy until you actually are physically capable of something. I spent so much of my life pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing because I felt like that's what I needed to do, because I wanted to be a strong person. I wanted to get through things quickly and good. And I think I've ended up hurting myself more often than I've actually known by allowing that mindset to like perpetuate and pushing until I'm so exhausted or in so much pain that I can't do anything else. Like, it was like this big realization for me that like, oh, I'm allowed to take care of myself so I don't get to that point and I don't have to feel guilty about it. And so this last 10 days has been a really good chance to kind of put that into practice and play around with resting before I absolutely have to, taking time away from work that I feel like I should be working because of this internalized sense of capitalism and always needing to be productive, and just like putting that on hold for a second and being like, no, what my body needs right now is to recuperate from this thing that has been done. And you know what? A day or two more in the grand scheme of things is literally nothing. So here on day 10, I feel my energy waning the further I get into this video. So I will be wrapping up shortly to take care of my body. But I got up, I took a shower, I got dressed, I put makeup on, I straightened my hair, and I'm feeling like I could probably conquer the world right now. There is still a lot of like discomfort and occasional spikes of pain, especially on one side, but all in all, I'm doing great. I'm so grateful to everyone who has been checking in on me. And also, if this is a surgery you're facing, know that it is not a super easy one. Like I said, I'm not new to the game of surgeries. This was very uncomfortable and did include a lot of pain, a lot of bleeding in the first couple days, and is still not comfortable almost a week and a half later. Like, if you're facing a surgery like this and you're like me, I might recommend that you plan for like at least 2 weeks until you're maybe feeling like good, you know? I'm really excited to see what this surgery is gonna do, because I've had these underlying issues for apparently a very long time, but I never knew. I'm curious if maybe relieving some of the extensive sinus issues that I was having will have an effect on the migraines that I have and the headaches that I get, because those things can be very intertwined. And so as I continue recovering from this, I'm really hopeful. And I think this is one of the most cut and dry surgeries I've ever had, where it's not complicated, it's not complex, it's not experimental, it's not, we'll see if this works. It's, these are problems, we know how to fix this, and we're gonna get it done. And that is a breath of fresh air, and I'm really grateful for it. Thank you so much for being a part of this brief journey with me. I really appreciate it. If you're facing this kind of a surgery, I'm sorry you've got to go through it, but I hope it is smooth, easy, and simple, and filled with not too much pain for you. To you watching this video right now, thank you for spending a few minutes out of your day here with me today. You could be anywhere else in the world doing anything else, and you chose to hang out with me for a few minutes, and I really appreciate that. To my patrons over on Patreon who support me, especially during such times, thank you for your generosity, your patience, your care, and that community there. If you're interested in what Patreon is, you can find a link on screen. But with that being said, I'm gonna go take that break. I love you guys. I'm thinking about you, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye, guys.